The value prop is when applied to investing, it allows you to save more, to invest more, avoid all these additional fees or hidden costs that you'll see in traditional platforms, and you get to keep more of your money for yourself.
Hello. Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Innovation Talks.
Today we have Nadine and Mark, co-founders of Sarwa. Welcome to BCG offices.
Thanks for having us.
We're very happy to be here.
Can you tell us more about the Sarwa business model? How does it work?
Yes, of course. So Sarwa, to start with, means wealth in Arabic. It means Sarwa. And we're basically the number one or the leading personal finance app in the region. So we want to help people save, invest, and trade all in one place. And the first part of our business model is to have a strong one view of your money rather than having it being scattered. And our main goal is to help young professionals, but even beyond that as well. We notice that it's not just the new generation that wants accessible, low-cost, smart investing. It's pretty much everyone. So that's really about the customer base. And the value prop is when applied to investing, it allows you to save more, to invest more, avoid all these additional fees or hidden costs that you'll see in traditional platforms, and you get to keep more of your money for yourself.
So I would say generally we're very customer-centric, so we're a B2C business. As Mark was mentioning, our three brand promises to have always low cost, very accessible, very easy to use, and also a very human brand.
What are the main advantages or also challenges that you might have found in the local financial market?
I think if you want to think about it from an opportunity perspective, it's a very young population that has very high penetration, mobile penetration. So there's a lot of room to actually improve on the financial services. So we have seen a very quick adoption of the digital platforms. But at the same time, what we wanted to bring is something that's very different. So we know that traditionally the fees here in the region have been very, very high when it comes to financial services. So we wanted to disrupt this and bring something that's very accessible. So we have very low account minimums, something that's very low in fee, as I mentioned before. So again, when you want to compare us, our fees we actually start for free. So any accounts below 2,500 for 1 year, because we wanted people to test and see for themselves. And then they go between 0.85 to 0.5. So they drop the more you put money. So that's one proposition that we really wanted to bring to the market and disrupt, is making it very accessible and to democratize investing in general.
Maybe building on this point and looking on the consumer, compared to other markets, how would you describe the local consumer from a behavior, needs, profile?
Yeah, I would say it's similar. It's a very young crowd, a lot of first-time investors, especially with COVID last year when we were all at home. The saving rates went up, so people had more disposable income to, instead of spend, to spark the question around what should I do with that money. So I think that was a global trend. We felt it definitely here. I would say there's a bit more, we're more on the active side and more on the trading side traditionally. Specifically Dubai, on Sheikh Zayed, you'd see a lot of trading ads and trading platforms. We're now seeing more of a shift towards proper diversification and investing in addition to that. So that's something that's really refreshing to see, because people have lost money trading before. So they question if there was a better way, and of course there is.
I'd say we've seen a shift in behavior also. We come from a very spending culture. And when it comes to investing, typically it's been really into real estate. And now, I would say financial literacy is on the rise, and you have more people interested in investing and growing their wealth. So that's something we actually first saw hand.
I think the recent success in your funding round is a bit of a testament of your success also in the market, right? So what are the ambition, the aspiration for Sarwa going forward? And also, how is your business model and vision changed during COVID? What happened?
The reason we were excited about our backing by Mubadala is how big we want to take the company, because it's going to require a lot of funding, given, as Nadine was saying, we chose to go direct in the B2C route to build the brand, acquire customers ourselves rather than go through a bank. To be backed by Mubadala with 250 billion is a milestone we definitely celebrated. What changed, I think it gave us more confidence in choosing to be a B2C platform, because initially when we would brainstorm, we would go back and forth between, all right, we built a brand, we have our own channels, should we partner with bank A or this bank to white label Sarwa to them? And when we saw the uptick in COVID, we were like, actually, no. Like this, we found we were much more comfortable with our DNA as a company and realized that this on its own could be something big rather than a stepping stone to white label it, basically.
And how did you evolve the product?
So we started with a product called Sarwa Invest, which at its core is about hands-off investing. So you just put your money into a portfolio of ETFs that's long-term, that's passive, very globally diversified, and your money is put to work, and this is how you think long-term. Now we're expanding to other products. So we also launched Sarwa Crypto, which is the same globally diversified portfolios, but has exposure to Bitcoin, so 5%. And we're launching new products as we go along. But the way we see it is we want Sarwa to become the go-to financial app. So it's sort of, if you want to think about it, like a one-stop shop for everything that you need for your money. So from, as we like to say, from the moment you actually, get your paycheck or your income, all the way to how you want to spend your money and how you want to grow it.
So what is your perspective on the cryptocurrency market in UAE and in GCC more generally?
I guess I can start with us as a company. We definitely embraced that in our wealth or asset allocation rather, by enabling customers to opt into a 5% exposure to Bitcoin through a fund called Grayscale. So I think there's a lot of demand already, and instead of deciding if people want to be all in or out of the market, the answer is much more having a certain amount of your wealth being allocated to it. So we discussed it with the regulator, and it was quite an easy discussion, as the UAE in general is embracing it and there's a positive outlook on crypto. For anyone listening, I would urge people to look into Web 3.0, which is a bit of some of the use cases that can come out of crypto, or specifically on NFTs. Even if you go to the DIFC and walk in front of Gate Avenue, there's like artwork around NFT and a Bitcoin logo. So I think you can tell how, in general, it's a positive environment.
In our definition in BCG, we define a bionic company connecting human capabilities, technology, and outcomes together. How do you bring these elements to drive innovation and growth for Sarwa?
For us, we believe that humans are good at doing some things and tech is good at doing other things. So technology will automate, make it seamless, more cost efficient. And our favorite is that it'll automate decision making, so that when the markets are down, we will buy low, sell high type of thing, instead of the emotional roller coaster that humans might do. So on the human element, we do have a team of wealth associates and wealth advisors that can guide customers. We were doing, with Nadine, we were doing a lot of webinars as well to calm people down, or just to give a lot of data-driven insights from how have markets behaved in the past to guide how to behave in the future. So that's the type of activity we see between humans and tech, and we continue to experiment with it because there's room for both.
I'll give you a very simple example. For Sarwa, first we're born in the cloud, right? So that made it much easier for us whenever you have a situation such as the pandemic to actually be able to support our clients, to be present when you don't have that physical contact. And we use technology to bring down the cost. And that's why we're able to actually offer Sarwa to a big database of clients and to grow into the mass market. So that's one thing. But just a simple example of when we talk about bionic, if you consider traditionally how we actually used to do financial advisory, you would go to a financial advisor, you had to go in your car, park the car, go down, go up, and then sign papers. And all of this could be very easily solved with a just full online onboarding. So these are like small examples of how you can bridge between technology and humans and make it so much cost efficient and just efficient in general.
As a very successful female entrepreneur, what would be your advice or your tips for young female trying to break through, whether in the startup world or the fintech world?
I believe it's perseverance. It's any business has its challenges, whether you're you're doing it yourself or you're doing it with great partners. So I'm lucky enough to actually have 2 male co-founders, and that made the journey much easier. But I can tell you, because I've had a business before, and I can tell you it's not an easy road to take. It's not an easy journey. But I believe we're improving on so many fronts. You have more women going into STEM, whether it's in the workforce, it's in education. I have kids. I see my little girl at 5 starting to learn how to code. So there is a change, and I'm hoping we see it across. But I believe if you have a great idea and you have a good support system around you, then just, don't give up and go for it.
Very nice discussion. Thanks a lot for sharing your insight and your perspective on the market. It was a pleasure having you with us, and good luck with the future.